You can say what you want, but you can't say that wasn't a good day under the drone. There was a lot of really, really good-looking horses. This is the first time we really get to see a lot of the horses do their work well. We see some other horses that, actually, to be quite frank, there wasn't a ton of horses where I said, we have to work. Like a horse like Prairie Fire, we got to work on him, but mechanically, he knows how to do his work very well. We just have to button him down to make sure he does it consistently well. But there weren't very many horses. I'm looking at every horse today, and not a ton of them I would say, we have to change this or change that. This is the first year where we don't have consistent mechanical sessions, let's just say, where we go out on a Tuesday or Wednesday and really button down and say, okay, let's change this, let's change that, and then through trial and error make some small or large changes. We haven't had to do that, and I don't foresee it. It's a good group of horses. Very happy. I'm going to bring you a top 10 list because it's fair. There was at least 10 horses that looked better. There's really 12 or 13, to be honest. But that happens every year. So we're going to start with You Gotta Believe. Watch the end of the mile when I put this horse in gear. I didn't know he could do that right now. Man, he felt like a racehorse finishing up his mile. Very strong on the end of it. Very strong. Very quick gait. Horse had no boots on behind. A couple of sets of bell boots up front that I thought maybe he needed, but in retrospect may not have. He was very, very good. You got to believe. A lot of happy people out there. Doug Gilmore, Rick Vive, Shane Corson. I probably don't watch these videos, but if you do, your horse looked fantastic. For those of you out there that got involved through the McMaster charity drive that we did with McMaster University and the sick kids portion of it. Great to have you guys along. Looks like you got a nice horse here. You may have to make a trip to Ohio to watch him race this summer, but man, oh man, he is a good looker as of today. Changed my mind. I said, he's going to take some time. He might be a little, nice little horse. He looked very good today. Very impressed with him. All the way down to number 9. Peanut Butter and Jelly finished up flying today. Better's Delights were showing up today. Peanut Butter and Jelly, Jimmy Gillespie did a great job with him. He got by me with the other Better's Delight, Twinkle in Your Eye. I thought she looked good also. Both those fillies looked really, really good. Who did I bring in at number 8? Number 8 is, where are you at, number 8? Eyes of 10. Eyes of 10, I had my thumb on it. Eyes of 10 looked fantastic today. I was going to go with Eyes of 10, and at the last minute, Amy said, hey, I don't know if I can get, this filly's acting up. And that was the eventual winner of that set, 1-2 Skip a Few. I said, don't worry about it, I'll go with her. So we pulled up to the fence and literally switched horses. Amy went with Eyes of 10. She was very good again. Looked very, very good today. Very happy with Eyes of 10. Obviously, Amy loves this filly. This is Lawmaker's sister. She wanted me to go with her today. I didn't feel I needed to go with her. I scored her down once, and I said, this filly's a rocket ship. I don't need to go with her. And Amy ended up going with her, and she was very good again. Number 7 was another horse that my beautiful wife Amy went with, Better Be Sawyer. How good was she? I told you guys, don't sleep on her. She came first over and beat all our best pacers that were not on the shelf anyway. All the best ones we had today were in set number 1, and Better Be Sawyer came first over and made them all like it a lot. Number 6, Purple Aura. Now, she could have been much higher. The only reason she was 6th is because she did get beat. She finished 2nd. Johnny said, listen, if we don't have that ear hood on, it's a totally different story. So it's a long way till the stake races in Ohio. Purple Aura looks push button and looked fantastic today. I was thoroughly impressed with her. She could have switched places with the next horse on the list, but he won his set. So fair is fair. Purple Aura finished 2nd today. She lines up at number 6, number 5. 3-point blue chip. Just because you're your most expensive horse does not mean you get given top billing. And I think he was number 5 today. When I look at the 4 ahead of him, they all did their work perfectly, and they did it well. This guy did make a break. Now overpowered them and looked like a good horse the last 3/4 of a mile. But he did make that little miscue, goofing off, not paying attention. That's understandable. He's a 2-year-old, a fresh 2-year-old stud. Not that shocking that he might be looking around and gawking, but after I put him in gear after that little miscue, he was certainly all business at that point. Number 4, 1-2 Skip a Few. A lot of people, if you'd have said, hey, 1-2 Skip a Few when we first broke her and all she do is pace and gallop and trot the very odd time, if you'd have said to me, this would be one of your nicest horses after this, I'd be like, that's a huge negative. I don't believe so. 1 second. I might. There was one in her coat. I will want this back. So this is a big game that Amy and I have. See, my wife loves to lose. I don't think she wants our daughter to have a sucky right now anyway, but she loses it all the time. And I always hide one in my pants pocket. So she has washed her other one in her coat. Thanks. I will be wanting my sucky back. Yes, nachos. So yeah, it was funny because our other kids, you know, Ava, just one day we woke up and I said, hey, give me that. And I never gave it back to her ever the rest of her life. And she didn't care. Ollie didn't really care. And Addie never really wanted one, but just the last few months, she, you know, I think it's a pacifier, right? She wants it. So Amy's slowly trying to take one away from her. And now she only has like one or two left, but I always have one or two hidden. So she came out here to ask if I had one hidden because she's putting Addie down for a nap. I should have told her no. Nevertheless, back to the list. 1, 2, skip a few. Yeah, if you had told me she was one of her nicest, and make no mistake, I'd go mile in 225 right now with 1, 2, skip a few. That's how she felt today. This filly went from not understanding her work and not being able to do her work to having hobbles put on and weight put on. Then we took the hobbles off, left the weight on her. Man, oh man, she went from a train wreck some days to, who is that? That's what we get at the fence now. Sometimes I'll go by Kevin or Harry or someone at the fence and be like, who is that? This filly looks like $1 million. She has got an impeccable gait, a beautiful attitude, and she is all business now. Very impressed with 1, 2, skip a few on the track. Number 3. Where are you at, number 3? Tioga Sunshine. Enough said. I know that she's been cheating and making breaks and goofing off. I drilled down on her this week. She trained hard. Wednesday, they said, oh, she made a little break. She was acting up. She trained Thursday. And I went with her. And I went with her again yesterday. She didn't train, but I went with her again. I knew she was going to have all green lights across the board today. There was not going to be any red light, green light. It was all going to be green light. And when I moved her today, she was all... James said, you might not want to make front with her. She might act up and look around and pull up. I said, don't worry. There'll be no acting her up or pulling up today. I can guarantee you that. I put her in gear starting in the backstretch. She blew right by Renegade Gypsy, who is one of our best horses. Now, in fairness to him, he looks as big as a bus. He's only going to get better as we go along. This filly is the perfect size to work hard through this winter and spring. And I put her in gear. I called on her in the last turn. There was no pulling up today. She was all business. Her and LSL were flying down the lane. As far as babies at this time of year on a half-mile track with corks on, you ain't going any faster than those two were today down the lane. And I felt terrible because I couldn't put LSL on the list. There was just... We had 7 sets, so the 7 winners have to go on the list. I thought Peanut Butter and Jelly closing up the way she did looked incredible. Who else was second? Isa 10 looked incredible. And Purple Aura, there's your 10. I couldn't put LSL on there. I could have. I could make an argument for it. Colt did a great job, and he's a talented colt. He was a number 11. So, Tioga Sunshine, all business today at number 3. Number 1 and 2 were tough. They were tough. I know both these fillies can fly. I know the week that Arch's Rainbow had, so I left her at number 1. Number 2, I killed the suspense, didn't I? Number 2, Rosie's Masterpiece. I told you about this filly. She is a killer. Mario went with her today. She looked great. I could have easily put her at number 1 and wouldn't have bothered me a bit. The only reason I didn't is because Arch's Rainbow had a splint crowd. She slipped and was all over the place all week. Just did not have a good week. For her to come out and do what she did, knowing, and I knew she had a bad week, for her to come out and be that dialed in and focused on her work to look that good and manhandle some horses that, quite frankly, are nice horses. I just had to give it to her. And to be fair to Rosie's Masterpiece, I didn't see what kind of week she had, and I can tell you she is a killer. Mario's got a strong burn this year. So far, I've seen Renegade Gypsy and Rosie's Masterpiece both look incredible. But I'm going to leave Rosie's Masterpiece at 2. Only because I knew the week Arch's Rainbow had, and I love horses that overcome adversity, and she had plenty. She was freshly, had a splint that was really killing her. It was freshly crowd. That bothers them for a little while. You know, and to see her they said she made a break training on Wednesday. Nah, she just doesn't feel right. And I said, you know what? Spark her up on Saturday, score her down, make her do her work, put her on the right frame, put her in the right frame of mind, and then we'll see how she is. night and day. She knows. Competitors always know. And they always, when push comes to shove, they're always there and they always show up for work. And that's exactly what she did. Rosie's Masterpiece is a killer. A very nice horse. They've done a great job with her. I went with her on Drone Dan Open House Day, and I told you she was a monster. She is. She's a legit nice filly. Both Ontario-bred trotting fillies. Both of them. Tioga Sunshine comes in at number 3. Our top 3 picks, it just dawned on me right now. My top 3 picks from today in the top 10 list are all Ontario-bred trotting fillies. So, congratulations to the people that own them. Arches Rainbow, it's worth mentioning. I just got done telling you, Arches Rainbow and Renegade Gypsy are amongst our best horses in the barn. And they are. You can't buy any shares of them anywhere. Wow. Except the New Year's group, of course. So I am going to plug the New Year's group. I do want to sell it out. And I was worried if I made too many groups, it'd be slow selling the last bunch. The 3 things you have going for you in the New Year's group. 1, you're not buying Arches Rainbow shares anywhere else on earth except the New Year's group. 2, Renegade Gypsy, all sold out. You're not going to get any shares of him unless you grossly overpay or join the New Year's group. And the 3rd reason is we sold Jesse Balboa the other day at a profit. I'm going to share that profit with everybody. Rather than saying, oh, we sold Jesse, we're just going to put another horse in there. Nope. We bought Jesse at 24,000 Canadian at the New Year's group. I sold him the other day at 22 American, which is about 28,000 Canadian. I'm going to share that profit with anybody. That 20% profit is going back to the people that are in and want to be in the New Year's group. So, 3 reasons to join the New Year's group on Saturday, January 9th. Arches Rainbow, Renegade Gypsy, and you already get a profit starting out. Don't get used to that. So the top 10 list today, from 10 through 1, great group. When you look at horses that didn't make it, I just told you about Renegade Gypsy, he didn't make the top 10, right? Voyage of Ice and Fire, I think he's probably one of the fastest horses I've trained this time of year. He didn't make the top 10 at all. Let's look at the horses quick that didn't make it. Almost Air Boss, killer, didn't make it. Miss Mildred will be on the top 10 list at some point, just not there yet. Twinkle in Her Eye, trained great. Luck of the Dragon, I think is as nice as any horse we have right now. Didn't make the top 10. Slim Jimmy, old ham and agger, meat and potatoes, Slim Jimmy, continues just to trot and do well. Didn't make the top 10. Unbeatable Kemp, Spent, both trained great. Didn't make the top 10. Kathy with an Eye was great. No top 10 for her. Renegade Gypsy, LSL, didn't make the top 10. Then you look at Harlan L. Trained great. He didn't make the top 10. Massive Profit, I just watched a replay. Him, he looked good too. Couldn't make it. Then Granite Hill, finished 2nd. Did his work well. Didn't make it. Rose above it. Got interfered with. Trotted great after. He didn't make it. Then you look at the last one. Of Tom, I love Of Tom to death. She didn't make it. Prairie Fire, didn't make it. So when you look at the horses that didn't make it, it's a great group of horses. Of the horses that went today, I was impressed with everybody. The little breaks here and there don't bother me, especially if you can come in and tell me why they made a break and why they won't next week. I'm not even going to count it as a break today. So number 10, You Gotta Believe, very, very good today. Number 9, Peanut Butter and Jelly. Number 8, Eyes of 10, very good. Better Be Sawyer. Amy McDonald had a big day today. Number 7, Better Be Sawyer. Number 6, Purple Aura, and she is as flawless gated as any horse around and comes in at number 6. Number 5, 3 Point Blue Chip. I don't have to tell you about him. That's most expensive horse we've ever bought, and he looks awesome. Number 5, number 4, 1, 2, Skip a Few. She looked incredible today. Number 3, Tioga Sunshine, also looked great. As I said, the top 3 Ontario-bred trotting fillies could be a banner year in Ontario for the stable.ca. Number 3, Tioga Sunshine. Number 2, Rosie's Masterpiece. And at number 1, nobody pays any attention to Arches Rainbow, but you will. Arches Rainbow at number 1. So there's your top 10 list. Some shameless advertising for the New Year's group. Message me if you want to know about it. But overall, just a great day at the barn. The sun was out. The track held up pretty good. We got them all done for everybody to go home or stay home and watch football, as I'm about to right now. Next time you see me will be tomorrow on Sunday. I'll do the rest of my list. But for right now, you got your opening, You got your top 10. You have a great day. Take care.